So this kid has the spine of a jellyfish, but his parents decide to toughen him up by shipping him off to the nation's most notorious delinquent school. He walks in shaking, expecting to get stuffed in a locker immediately, but plot twist, every single bad boy in there is acting super chill and friendly. They're practically fighting over who gets to give him the VIP tour. He looks around the campus and sees zero red flags, just good vibes. Our guy starts thinking, hey, maybe this won't be a nightmare. But the second that final bell rings, reality check. His new buddies drag him straight to an underground fight club. Turns out all that pent-up rage from the day, it all gets unleashed in the arena. The kid freezes up his brain, totally short-circuiting, as he watches the carnage unfold. Then the student council president spots the fresh meat and strolls over with a creepy ear-to-ear grin to drop the lore. Listen up, violence is strictly contained to this ring. That's the golden rule. Bullying in the halls, banned. So you get the best of both worlds, a peaceful education by day and the thrill of a bloodbath by night. He doesn't even let the poor guy process the info before shoving him right onto the combat stage. Standing opposite him, the freshman boss Kang Tae-yang, looking like a tank and charging in like a raging bull. Our MC is sweating buckets. He's been a doormat his whole life, and now his trauma is kicking into overdrive. The psychological pressure is too much, his stomach does a flip, and then disaster strikes. He literally projectile vomits all over Tae-yang's face. The entire arena goes dead silent. A split second later, the crowd erupts into hysterical laughter. It is maximum cringe. That is how his welcome party ends, in total abject humiliation. Cut to the next morning. The vomit incident is viral news. He knows he's not built for fighting, so he tracks down President Yang Min-ho. He tells him, look, I'm resigning from the arena. But the moment those words leave his mouth, his classmates look at him with pure terror like he just signed a death warrant. Min-ho's face goes dark. Fine. Starting today, Lee Ji-jo is no longer under the arena's protection. He drops that bombshell and walks away. Back in the classroom, Ji-jo is sitting there alone, trying to decode that warning. Suddenly Tae-yang, the guy he puked on, rolls up with his squad looking for payback. He grabs Ji-jo's head and slams it brutally against the desk over and over. He is giving a practical demonstration of exactly what Min-ho meant. The protection is gone. Now Ji-jo is the only target in the whole school who is fair game. He is officially the campus punching bag. He endures a solid week of hell on earth. Finally, he snaps. He cannot take it anymore. He begs his homeroom teacher for a leave of absence, thinking he can just bail. But Min-ho is waiting at the gate, smirking. You useless piece of trash. You think taking a break will save you from predators. A coward like you will always be prey no matter where you go. Because you don't have the guts to stand up for yourself. That hits hard. Ji-jo thinks he's escaped, but on his way home, Tae-yang steps out of the shadows. You think you can just leave without my permission? You're my errand boy now. He doesn't wait for an answer, dragging Ji-jo into a dark alley for a severe beatdown. Then he pulls out his phone and reads off Ji-jo's home address word for word. With a twisted smile, he says, I'll be stopping by your house to play. Ji-jo's eyes widen in pure horror. He screams, what do you want from me? Tae-yang grabs his face. Fight back, and I post the photos of you getting beaten. Ji-jo is trapped. He was so close to escaping, but these monsters won't let him go. In that moment of extreme fear, Min-ho's words finally click. To survive, you have to fight. A primal rage explodes from the bottom of his soul. He clamps his teeth down hard on Tae-yang's palm. The bully howls in pain. Furious, Tae-yang backhands him across the alley. Ji-jo wipes the blood from his lip and grins. Hurts, doesn't it? I might die today, but I am dragging you to hell with me. The goons rush him. He knows he can't win a group fight. He grabs a handful of sand he hid in his palm and throws it in their eyes. While they are blinded, he spins around and sprints back toward the school arena. He bursts through the doors and screams at the top of his lungs that he wants a fair one-on-one match with Tae-yang. Min-ho cracks a subtle grin, hearing that instantly, ordering the floor cleared. As the two step onto the stage, the hype is real, the crowd goes absolutely feral. But Tae-yang, his power is straight up terrifying. Right out of the gate, Ji-jo gets absolutely wrecked. Yet even dripping in blood, he locks eyes with Tae-yang, refusing to give an inch. Annoyed by the stare down, Tae-yang launches a savage kick, sending Ji-ho tumbling violently across the pavement. He smirks, sure, nobody could handle that hit. But just as he turns to leave with that unearned swag, Ji-jo actually stands up. He refuses to stay down. Seeing this, Tae-yang loses it, clenching his fist. Quit being stubborn. Keep this up, and I'll actually end you. Hearing that Ji-jo's gaze ignites with pure rage. This physical pain, it's nothing compared to the hell he's already lived through. Snapping, he lunges forward, tackling Tae-yang and slamming him into the ground with every ounce of strength he has left. He cocks his fist back to smash that ugly mug, but Tae-yang is faster, clocking him with a heavy counterblow. Tae-yang mocks him. Your punch is in slow motion, bro. When are you gonna hit me? That triggers Ji-jo. He might lack raw power, but he's got the guts to risk it all. No hesitation, he drives his forehead straight into Tae-yang's skull. Stunned by the cheap shot, Tae-yang goes full berserk mode. He shoves Yijo off, gritting his teeth, ready to speedrun this beatdown and end the farce right now. But suddenly Yijo's eyes look bloodshot and manic. He realizes the truth, these terrifying bullies he always feared. They're actually mid-tier at best. It's pathetic he let trash like this intimidate him for so long. Fueled by pain and adrenaline, he raises his fist, ready to teach them a lesson. But Taeyang isn't waiting. Bam! A clean shot to the jaw. Lights out. Yijo hits the deck cold. When he finally wakes up in a daze, he finds Minho has been patching him up in the arena. But the news is grim. This is his final strike. If he takes a break now, he's banned from the arena for good. Yijo freezes, lost in thought. His weakness, his incompetence, that's why he's always been a victim. Even after transferring schools, he's still just a toy for Taeyang. No more. He screams at Minho. I'm not resting, teach me how to get strong. Minho smirks. Training the weak. Guess that's part of the student council president's job description. Then thud, he sucker punches Yijo right in the gut. Watching him crumple, Minho sneers. Can't handle it, we're just getting started. The next day, Yijo drags himself to school, clutching his bruised stomach. Remembering Minho's order to meet up during every single break, a cold wave of dread washes over him. Of course, he runs straight into Taeyang, the guy he hates most. And worse, the scumbag threatens him again. Don't get too cocky, or next time I'll put you in a body bag. Hearing that, a raging fire ignites in Yijo's chest. He swears he'll get strong enough to crush this trash with his bare hands. When the bell rings, Yijo heads to the rooftop ready to grind. But Minho doesn't hold back, beating him until he's spitting blood. From then on, it's torture. Yijo gets brutally battered, hundreds of times a day. Yet even when he's knocked senseless, he never thinks about quitting. Because of that cheap shot earlier, Taeyang keeps lurking at the arena, hoping to ambush Yijo. But annoyingly, the kid is a ghost. To Taeyang, this looks like Yijo is dodging fights. A twisted idea forms in his head. If Yijo won't be his punching bag, he'll exploit the rule that no one can refuse a fight invitation, turning those terrified spectators into his personal toys. The arena is about to become his exclusive hunting ground. Completely clueless about this, Yijo is prepping to return for a fair rematch against Taeyang. After surviving the daytime beatings, he's even grinding out extra conditioning. But suddenly, a motorcycle screams toward him, sideswiping Yijo's arm. He barely recovers before a biker gang blocks his path. The leader, some guy in all black, steps up with a hand in his pocket. You scratched my precious ride, kid. I'll give you a discount, just pay me 6 million. Yijo's eyes go wide. Is this guy for real? Before he can even open his mouth to deny it, the guy in black throws a sucker punch, smashing him right in the face. As the threats keep coming, Yijo, something clicks in his brain. The fear, gone. He swipes the thug's arm away like it's nothing. No hesitation. He throws a heavy right cross, connecting solid with the guy's jaw. If he can face a monster like Minho, this clown is zero threat, especially not some random street trash. But reality checks in fast, his wrist gets snatched mid-air. The thug in black lets out a cruel laugh. That's supposed to be a punch, feels like a tickle. Yijo freezes, total panic setting in. He goes feral, swinging wildly. But he's only learned how to take a beating, not how to dish one out. Zero technique. Big mistake. One swift kick to the gut sends him crumbling to the pavement. The thug grins, slipping on brass knuckles for maximum damage. He cocks his fist back, ready to turn Yijo's face into pulp. Pure terror washes over Yijo. But just before impact, boom, a shadow drops from the sky. A flying knee strikes the thug dead in the face, shattering his nose and sending blood spraying everywhere. Yijo looks up, eyes wide. It's Jin Hyun, the same girl who first dragged him into the arena world. Knew it was you, Yijo, she chirps, totally chill. Then she spots a guy in red rushing her. She sidesteps the ambush effortlessly and plants a devastating haymaker right into the attacker's mug. That's when the gang notices her outfit. Wait, is that a human high uniform? Panic mode engaged. The leader barks orders to retreat. Screw this, bad luck running into a human psycho today. Engines roar as they scramble onto their bikes, peeling out and leaving nothing but a cloud of exhaust. As the dust settles, Hyun turns to Yijo, telling him not to sweat the beatdown. Standing up to a whole crew, that takes guts. Then she finds out the real tea. Yijo mentions his special training with Minho. Hyun's jaw drops with jealousy. President Minho doesn't just train anyone. You better not waste this shot. That triggers Yijo's memory. Why did those thugs bolt like that? He asks why the uniform scared them off. Hyun flashes a knowing grin. Oh, that totally normal. Human High used to be a war zone. The worst of the worst. Campus violence was out of control until Minho showed up. He single-handedly crushed everyone, reformed the school, and built the arena system. He turned chaotic brawls into organized one-on-one duels to settle beefs. If Minho or the arena falls, this place goes straight back to being hell on earth. And trust me, plenty of people are praying for that to happen. But little do they know, the cracks are already forming. Back at the arena, Taeyang initiates his plan to burn it all down. His lackey Park Seo-jin starts the chaos. Using lame excuses, Seojin targets the weak kids, the ones clearly terrified of fighting. When they try to back out, he quotes the arena rulebook. No one can refuse a challenge. He's basically forcing them to be human punching bags. After Seojin finishes beating on the helpless students to satisfy his ego, Taeyong rips off his shirt. My turn. A kid in the crowd with a middle-part haircut chuckles, whispering, "Who's dumb enough to fight Taeyong?" Big mistake. Taeyong locks eyes with him immediately. The kid freezes in pure horror. They've never even spoken. Why him? Taeyong sneers. Just looking at your face pisses me off. You gonna try to wimp out like Jae-ho did? Suddenly, Minho stomps onto the scene, radiating pure rage. Taeyong puts on his best innocent act. Whoa, chill out. Just a misunderstanding. I haven't broken any rules, have I? Minho's expression turns dark. He knows exactly what game Taeyong is playing, but he forces himself to stay cool, patting Taeyong's shoulder, a silent warning not to push his luck. For now, the tension in the arena simmers down. Cut back to Yijo. His training is leveling up. He's not just cowering from Minho's fists anymore. He's actually looking for openings to strike back. He realizes if he wants to win, he can't be a passive victim. Even if he misses, throwing a punch is better than just standing there getting slaughtered. Abruptly, Minho halts the session. A mischievous smirk plays on his lips as he tells Yijo, "Follow me." They end up at a creepy, abandoned shed. Yijo pushes the creaking door open, revealing a humanoid boxing machine standing in the shadows. Minho drops into a combat stance. "Welcome to stage 2. Watch closely, cause I'm only doing this once. Feet shoulder-width apart. Stay light on your toes. First, snap that lead jab with precision. Second, put your body weight into it and torque your hips." He smashes the dummy with a devastating strike. Smoke instantly starts pouring out of the machine, leaving Yiju completely shook. Surging with newfound confidence and following Minho's exact instructions, he drives a fist right into the dummy's jaw. But plot twist, the score on the punching machine doesn't budge an inch. Watching this flop, Minho steps in and delivers a thunderous strike. Only then does the counter tick from 1 to 2. Then, Minho points at the rig deadpan. "Thing's ancient and busted. It only registers if you hit it hard enough. So don't even think about showing your face again until you hit 9,999 points." From that moment on, Yijo spends every single break grinding, turning him into a bottomless pit when it comes to food. But just as he's shoveling rice into his mouth like a maniac, Seojun creeps up from behind, and Whack deliberately slams a food tray right into the back of his head. He even has the nerve to fake a friendly greeting, while aggressively patting him on the back. Yijo clenches his jaw, veins popping with pure rage. He snaps up, gripping Sojun's arm in a vice lock. Seeing the bully continue to look down on him, Yiju barely holds back his fury. He remembers Minho's ultimatum. He is banned from the arena until his training is complete. But these guys have gotten so cocky, they're openly disrespecting the code. Starting beef right outside the ring. Yijo snaps. He tightens his fist, ready to disobey orders. But out of nowhere, Hajun lunges forward and launches a tray, smashing it squarely into Sojun's face. "You coward, there's a limit to your nonsense." Seeing Sojun about to explode, Hajun quickly flashes a grin. "My bad. That wasn't bullying, my hand just slipped." Then turning ice cold, he challenges Seojun to a fight tonight. Yiju feels gut-wrenched for dragging Hajun into his mess. Hajun just smiles, explaining he isn't fighting Sojun for Yijo's sake. He just can't stand seeing those punks trash the sanctity of the arena. Lately, Taeyong and his crew have been targeting the weak, dishing out one-sided beatdowns. If the victims get scared, the bullies threaten them by bringing up Yijo's refusal to join the arena. Hearing the truth, Yijo grinds his teeth in anger, but he's also confused. Why does Hajun care so much about this place? After all, a beast like him doesn't need the arena to prove anything. Hearing this, Hajun opens up about a past he rarely mentions. Back in the day, he was overweight and timid. He endured brutal bullying for years, until a stranger saved him from some thugs and handed him a boxing flyer. That was the turning point. That stranger, a gym owner, trained with him day in and day out. Just like that, his fists transformed him. He was never bullied again. The Colosseum is a sanctuary where anyone can fight. On equal footing, no bullying, no oppression. That's why he protects it so fiercely. That night, Hajun and Sojun step into the ring as agreed. The ref signals the start, and Sojun confidently throws the first punch. After weaving through a flurry of attacks, he gets rocked by a heavy counter from Hajun. Sojun is stunned. Hajun's movement is way faster than he imagined. He's got real boxing experience. But after tanking a few more hits, he realizes something. The speed is there, but the punches lack power. Instantly, his ego skyrockets. He drops his stance, winding up a fatal blow aimed right at Hajun's gut. But out of nowhere, Hajun's fist blurs past his vision, slamming directly into his jaw and making him cough up blood. Turns out the weak punches were just a trap, Hajun said, deliberately masking his true power to bait Seojun's overconfidence before landing the heavy artillery. In the stands, Yijo is hyped. Hajun is absolute beast mode. But two guys behind him mention that Sojun has 0 losses, so Hajun probably won't take this easily. Hearing that, Yiju's stomach drops. Right then, back in the ring, Seojun unleashes a savage barrage on Hajun. But no matter what combo he throws, he can't land a single hit. He eventually gets launched into the air by a massive punch. Seeing Hajun's smug look, Seojun suddenly grins. He staggers back to his feet, then abruptly chambers, his left leg shifting into an all-out combat stance. Hajun immediately recognizes it as a specific kicking technique. Just as he goes to counter with the same move, a sharp pain shoots through his leg. Realizing the danger, Hajun quickly retreats. But seeing this, Seojun gets a rush of adrenaline. He unleashes his ultimate kick again. Bam Hyun feels like he just got kissed by a freight train. Gravity takes over, smashing him into the concrete. This dude's power level basically breaks the laws of physics. Seojun doesn't let up. He hammers Hyun's guard until Snap That Arm is officially out of commission. With his defense shattered, Hyun's punches are useless. He instantly morphs into Seojun's personal punching bag. Hyun is totally paralyzed, having zero clue how to clap back. All he can do is watch in horror as Seojun's iron leg rains down hell. His mobility, gone. But look at Seojun's eyes, that's pure bloodlust. He's going for the kill shot. Nighty-night, Mr. Nice Guy. Just as a lethal boot aims for Hyun's temple, the ref dives in to save his life. Discipline, Captain Seojun Hong steps up, face like stone, declaring the match over since the opponent is totally incapacitated. One more move counts as a foul. Seojun has to walk away looking super salty about the interruption, but he's not leaving without throwing shade at Jiho. Long time no see, you little chicken. Next time you're the one catching these hands. Hyun is wrecked with guilt. His loss just gave these bullies a massive ego boost. Jiho tells him to chill. Nobody could have predicted that Seojun had a signature move like that. After dropping Hyun off, Jiho dips immediately. He sprints all the way to the boxing gym, adrenaline pumping. He needs a power-up fast. No way he's standing on the sidelines while his crew gets stomped. Even if he has to fail 100,000 times, failure isn't an option. Jiho realizes his stats are low, weight and strength are capped. He needs a wider stance to generate maximum torque. He needs to throw his whole body into it. He winds up on the dummy, and boom, the digital score finally moves. Locked in, Jiho grinds from dusk till dawn. He doesn't stop until his knuckles are raw meat. Finally, the machine flashes the magic number, 9,999. Meanwhile, Seojun notices. Jiho ghosted school today. He suggests paying him a visit, but Taeyang is like, nah, don't bother. Beating Hyun proved their dominance. Those cowards are shaking in their boots right now. Chasing a nobody like Jiho makes them look petty. They already own the freshman class, just like they planned. Time for Phase 2. Sub-seniors. Soyu confronts the legendary Archons. What are you washed-up losers plotting? Taeyang grins like a shark. We're nobodies. Funny considering you guys were legends. Back in my brother's era. Now, you got dethroned by Minho and hide in alleys like rats. Triggered by the disrespect, Soyu grabs him by the collar. Taeyang doesn't even flinch. Relax, I'm just saying it's a tragedy. You OGs were too obsessed with fighting solo back in the day. But the game has changed. Taeyang is secretly building an army to burn the arena to the ground. Even if he fixes it later, it'll never be the same. Suddenly his phone buzzes. It's Jiho calling. Minho rushes to the gym, expecting to find Jiho quitting. Instead, he stares at the punching machine. Score totally shook. It happened. Way faster than he calculated. Jiho wipes the sweat off his face. I'm done wasting time. Minho smirks. Alright, level 2 starts now, but brace yourself, because this is going to be absolute hell. The second he stops talking, Jiho collapses into him, out cold. After a rest day, Jiho gets coordinates for a construction site. He's scanning the creepy vibes when Minho materializes behind him like a ghost. Dead serious, he explains. Back in the day, to be number 1, Yumin High. Made a lot of enemies. This is Jinsun High turf. Jiho's eyes go wide. He's stunned. Minho didn't just bring him out, he brought him straight into the lion's den. Minho slams that heavy iron gate shut, turning the lock with a savage click, sealing Jiho's fate. Smirking like a devil, he drops the bomb. Exits on the flip side. Figure it out. Nothing beats the thrill of a real deathmatch. Jiho is left banging on the metal, totally panic-stricken as Minho just ghosts him in the danger zone. But right then, the aggressive roar of engines tears through the air behind him. 0 to 100 real quick. Suddenly, he's circled by the ops. He clocks the guy in all black. It's that same loser Hyun wrecked last time. This dude slides on a pair of brass knuckles looking to settle the score with some metal enforcement. Look what the cat dragged in. You actually delivered yourself to us. You ain't walking away this time. He snatches Jiho up by the skull, disrespectfully tapping his cheek with a fist like he owns him. Big mistake. Jiho snaps into a combat stance, eats the disrespect, and serves up a knuckle sandwich. Before the goon can even process, Jiho connects with a heavy right hook, turning the guy's face into a crimson fountain. Just as Jiho starts feeling that main character energy, the goon shakes it off and cracks him upside the head. Jiho gets caught lacking, stumbling back from the heavy blow as the guy regains his balance. But Jiho, he barely flinches. To him, that hit felt like a love tap. He counters instantly, launching the dude into next week. The goons see their boss get folded and rush in, but they just run straight into Jiho's hands, getting swatted like flies. Broken and bleeding on the asphalt, the leader can't compute what just happened. How did this punching bag transform into a beast capable of humiliating him in just a few days? He stares at Jiho, who's panting but standing tall, looking like a totally different animal. Suddenly, some delinquent girl steps up and starts screeching curses at the top of her lungs. Her siren scream pulls in a massive mob. We're talking dozens of savage thugs swarming the spot. Jiho realizes he's in deep trouble. But in the heat of the moment, a light bulb goes off. He hijacks the boss's prized motorcycle and cranks the throttle to the absolute max. While the gang stands there looking clueless, he ghost rides the bike straight into them. The machine plows into the crowd, sending bodies flying and creating instant chaos in the ranks. Jiho doesn't waste a second. He sprints through the opening, capitalizing on the confusion. He bulldozes through the blockers, frantic to reach that back exit before they regroup. He knows if he wants to survive a cage match with Taeyang later, he can't just run, he has to level up right now. Passing a building, he spots a stairwell. Bingo, that's his tactical choke point. It forces them into a single-file line, perfect for setting up one-on-one fights. He posts up at the corner, adrenaline pumping, waiting for the prey to come to him. The mob thinks he's cornered, and rushes in blindly straight into the trap. First guy gets dropped instantly. Jiho holds the high ground, playing King of the Hill. The fallen bodies clog up the stairs, blocking the guys behind them. It's a total bottleneck. Jiho's on a rampage, ready to push down, when suddenly a tank of a guy blindsides him. Then, out of nowhere, a purple-haired psycho leaps from the floor above like a ninja. He drop-kicks Jiho down the stairs. Jiho never saw the ambush coming. Jiho tries to swing back, but this new guy moves like lightning, dodging effortlessly. A boot slams into Jiho's skull. The impact rattles his brain. This ain't no average thug. Jiho realizes he's dealing with an elite. Purple Hair barks an order to the pack. Wreck him. You have 10 minutes. The mob surrounds Jiho and starts stomping him out. But thanks to his insane durability training, the pain is manageable. He tanks the damage like a boss. He knows he can't win a mosh pit fight. He explodes upwards, shoving through the circle to escape. He spots Purple Hair leaving dashes down, grabs his head, and delivers a nasty parting gift. Smash Jiho rolls down the rest of the stairs to put some serious distance between them. The thrill of the brawl is pumping through his veins. He bursts out of the building. But just as he thinks he's free at the back gate, a motorcycle comes screaming right at him. Out of nowhere, Yejo gets cut off, totally boxed in. But here's the real plot twist. Dragged behind the motorcycle like roadkill is that same dude in black Yejo just laid out. While Yejo stands there frozen, Hyukjin steps up like a squad captain licking his lips. You wrecked my useless minions. Kinda cute. I absolutely love playing with adorable things like you. As he drops that line, the goons Yejo shook off earlier catch-up, sealing off his escape route. The guy with the purple hair spots Hyukjin and starts waving frantically. He taps his chest, swearing he'll handle Yejo for trespassing on their turf. But Hyukjin's eyes suddenly flash, with pure menace. He's my prey, you useless trash. I'll show you some love later. Purple Hair turns ghost white and shuts his mouth instantly. Meanwhile, Yejo sizes up. This weirdo. He's constantly analyzing dude is shorter than him and definitely doesn't have Minjo's tank build. I can take him. With that split-second calculation, Yejo launches a surprise attack. But get this, Hyukjin weaves past the punch like it was nothing. He instantly locks Yejo into a grapple and slams him into the pavement. The impact is so brutal, Yejo coughs up blood immediately. Before he can even catch his breath, Hyukjin hoists him up one-handed, clamping down on his body. Hyukjin leaps into the air, spinning 180 degrees. He delivers a skull-crushing piledriver. The explosion of pain in his head sends Yejo straight to the pearly gates. The goons watching on the sidelines start grinning, but that quickly turns to sweating bullets. They realize they're next on Hyukjin's twisted playtime list. Just as Hyukjin grips his throat to lift him high, Yejo snaps a kick right to his face. He sneers. Listen, shorty, who you calling cute? You're the adorable one. Hyukjin's face twists in. Disbelief, nobody dares call him cute. The goons gasp, terrified, whispering that Yejo just signed his death warrant since Hyukjin has major trauma about being bullied for his height. Rule number 1, never call him cute if you want to live. Suddenly, Yejo feels the grip loosen, and he drops. Seeing an opening, he clenches his fists ready to brawl. But out of nowhere, the psycho tackles him again, taking it to the ground. He wraps both legs firmly around Yejo's neck. It's an instant chokehold, cutting off all air like a python squeezing the life out of prey. Then he grabs Yejo's head and starts pounding him mercilessly. Looking down at a barely conscious Yejo, Hyukjin sticks his tongue out. Still think I'm cute, bro? But right then Yejo actually stands up, lifting Hyukjin with him while still being choked. His insane willpower pushes his body way past the red line. Hyukjin, totally hyped by the resistance, shifts his weight, sliding behind Yejo to lock in a rear naked choke. The second he straightens out Yejo, gets hit with suffocation 100 times more intense than before. In seconds, Yejo blacks out and hits the floor. Hyukjin stares at his subdued prey with excitement, grabbing him to drag away, planning to take him somewhere else for more fun. But suddenly, Yejo's eyes snap open. Plot twist: all that bullying taught him how to survive the choking game. He learned that if he keeps a tiny gap, just a finger's width to protect his carotid artery, he won't pass out. Being dragged gave Yeju the chance to grab a jagged rock. He swings his arm up and smashes it down with pure rage, seizing the moment Do-hyun collapses. Yejo sprints for the back exit, like his life depends on it, but just as he's about to make it, Do-hyun, despite getting his head bashed in, lunges at him again. Just as he's about to get snatched, Minho fills the doorway like a raid boss, radiating terrifying pressure. He warns Do-hyun, touch him again and it's a declaration of war against every student at Yumin High. But the enraged Do-hyun just taunts him. I've been itching to fight you forever. He sticks his tongue out and steps up, ready to throw hands. But before he can even twitch, Minho blasts him directly in the face. One hit sends him flying backward through the door, knocking him out cold on the concrete. Minho watches Yejo clear the iron gate, a smirk playing on his lips. Satisfaction. One last training drill, he thinks. Meet me on the roof. Tomorrow. But the next morning, things go sideways fast. Yeju rolls up to school and immediately spots Sojun beating the brakes off Hyun. Zero hesitation, he dives in to block the hit. That's the snapping point. He calls it out right there. Hey scumbag, meet me at the arena after school. We're settling this. Seo-jun freezes. He never expected this, nobody to step up. He sneers, promising to give Yeju a brutal crash course in reality. The clock ticks down. By nightfall, the arena is absolutely packed. Standing room only. Seo-jun struts onto the platform, checking his watch. No Yejo. He laughs. Did the little chicken run home to mommy? Wrong. Yejo steps into the spotlight. Buzz cut. Eyes dead serious. The coward is gone. Now he's staring down a Muay Thai expert, completely locked in. Then he does the unthinkable. He literally turns his back and sticks his butt out, letting the guy wail on him. The crowd erupts into laughter. What a joke. But they don't see the method behind the madness. See, that last kick felt off. Way too hard. Like kicking a solid steel beam. Yeju realizes there's metal plating hidden under those shins. If he checks a kick now, his leg snaps like a twig. But while he's staring at the guy's legs trying to verify, Seo-jun switches up the flow and throws a massive punch. Crack. The hit lands square on his temple. Yeju stumbles vision, swimming totally dazed. Seo-jun grins. He winds up a high kick, arrogant enough to think this is the finisher. But Yejo snaps back. He catches the leg midair and slams the cheater into the concrete with everything he's got. Time to expose the truth. Yejo grips the pant leg and rips the fabric open. Busted. A steel plate strapped right to the shin. The crowd gasps in unison. Total shock. Nobody thought a fighter would stoop that low. A weapon in the ring. The crowd turns instantly, screaming, "Dirty cheater." The ref looks to Minho, the boss, asking if they should cut the feed. Minho just smiles, cold and calculating. Stand down. Let them finish. The fight is practically over anyway. In the ring, Yeju confirms the cheat and goes absolutely feral. He mounts the guy and unleashes a fury of punches, beating him half to death. Looking down at the terrified bully, Yejo recognizes that fear. It's personal. It's the same helplessness he felt every time Seo-jun's crew jumped him. But that victim mentality, dead and buried. From now on, anyone who tries to bully him gets crushed. Seo-jun blacks out. Yeju stands tall over the body. The arena goes nuclear with cheers. Seo-jun wakes up to the roar of the crowd, totally confused. Knocked out by a nobody, he tries to scramble up, but freezes. His boss, Tae-yang, is cutting through the audience like a shark. Seo-jun opens his mouth to beg, but Tae-yang's icy stare shuts him down instantly. The crowd starts pelting the loser with trash. Suddenly, Yeju steps in, hand extended to help him up. No bad blood. I wanted to end you for cheating, Yejo admits, keeping it real. But rules are rules. Let's run it back fair and square next time. Just as they're squashing the beef yank, a massive hand grabs Seo-jun by the hair. It's Min-woo, the third-year boss. Are you kidding me? He spits. Making friends with the enemy, you trash. He tosses Seo-jun aside and stalks toward Minho. The challenger versus the creator. I'm tearing this arena down, Min-woo barks. I'm bringing the era of bullies back to Yumin High. Minho actually laughs. Cute. I thought you quit the game ages ago. Been hiding like a sewer rat, haven't you? Guess I have to crush your little fantasy right now. They step onto the platform. The energy shifts. The crowd below is buzzing with rumors. Yeju is totally lost. He nudges his buddy Hyun. Yo, what's the history here? Turns out Min-woo is the OG, the only guy who could ever rival Minho for the top spot at Yumin High. This is a clash of titans. Min-woo finishes his warm-up and bam, launches a blitz attack instantly. The impact is insane, practically blowing the front row back. Dust settles. Min-woo stands ready. He realizes he hasn't even laid a finger on a single hair of Minho's head. Instantly, he goes berserk, unleashing a storm of attacks. Watching this unfold, Yiho is stunned. Even though Minwoo is built like a tank, the guy moves with glitch-like speed. Sweating bullets, he asks Ha-yoon what the fallout would be if Minho actually takes an L on this fight. Ha-yoon's face goes dark. Game over. The arena disappears, and Yuming-hai goes straight back to being a living hell. Because Minwoo isn't just a thug, he's the demon Kang-han-a's right hand. As the reality sinks in, a frustrated Minwoo starts losing his cool completely. Thrusting his palm forward with every ounce of power he has, he finally grazes Minho's cheek. The first hit. Sensing victory is right there for the taking, he immediately goes full feral mode. After landing a combo on Minho, he presses the advantage and winds up for a massive haymaker, planting Minho into the dirt instantly. This sudden plot twist makes Yiho's heart stop in his chest. Even the usually chill Ha-yoon is starting to panic. The stats said Minwoo had the strength, while Minho had the skills. But right now, it looks like Minwoo is stat-checking him in every category. At this moment, Minwoo flashes a wicked grin. He never expected those shady little pills would turn him into a total god, strutting around like he's already won the title belt. He lifts his massive leg high, aiming to use this stomp to crush Minho into oblivion, but bam, a fist connects squarely with his face. Minho flings him away, and the second he slams against the railing, Minho goes on the offensive. As his devastating strike lands, a terrifying pressure explodes instantly from his entire body. By the time Minwoo realizes he got baited into dropping his guard, it is way too late. As Minho delivers the finisher, Minwoo gets launched straight off the platform, carving a path through the crowd. He hits the floor out cold before he even lands. The crowd erupts, arms in the air, but Minho turns back with a stone-cold glare. He calls out Seo-jun, who is trying to sneak away in the chaos. With a voice full of command, he says, "You cheated. Time to pay the tax. Hurry up and assume the position for your beating." As the command drops, Minho pulls out a steel pipe. Seo-jun freezes in pure terror. If he takes a hit from Minho, who fights like a literal raid boss, he's dead meat. Abandoning all dignity, he drops to his knees, begging for his life. He swears on everything he didn't cheat on purpose, and promises never to pull a stunt like that again. But Minho isn't hearing it, and orders him to get on the ground again. Seeing the look in his eyes, Seo-jun bursts into tears, clinging to Minho's thigh, launching into a sob story about being bullied since kindergarten, and how he strapped steel plates to his legs just to survive. "I'm a victim too, man. Please let it slide." Seeing Minho suddenly drop to one knee, he thinks he's off the hook. Wrong move. That just made Minho madder. "Listen, brat," I said, "get down. Now." Hearing the shout, the terrified Seo-jun has no choice but to curl up on the floor sobbing. He's never met a human this scary. Hearing the wind whistle as Minho swings the steel bar, his bladder fails him, leaving a yellow puddle spreading on the floor. Minho spots the wet spot and freezes mid-swing. Yeah, he's done, killing the vibe completely. Instead, he warns, "Consider this your only pass." He stomps the ground and roars, "Listen up. You all need to get this straight. The arena isn't a playground. Anyone trying to break the rules or bring street violence into this school, not on my watch. You won't get away with it. So go crazy, have fun. Because this is the one place where a coward who was too scared to throw hands can win fair and square with just his two fists. That is why Yuming-hai has an arena." Mic drop. Speech over. Cut to the next day. Minho is grinding on the roof. Yiho takes the chance to slide up and say thanks. If Minho hadn't coached him before the Seo-jun fight, drilling into his head that the secret for rookie fighters is to ditch defense, tank the hits, to get in close and clamp down on the opponent, then wait for that one opening to land a critical hit, he never would have beaten Seo-jun. But when he mentions this, Minho waves him off. "Don't thank me. Just doing what had to be done." Looking at Minho, who is suddenly acting super distant, the kid is confused. He just has to ask, "Why? Yo, teach, why go this hard for a nobody like me? I heard I'm the first guy to ever get your VIP treatment." Hearing that, Minho freezes mid-rep, drops the weights, and looks him dead in the eye. "Let's just say I've got a score to settle. And honestly, you're leveling up way faster than I predicted. I'm gonna have one hell of a progress report for him. Also, thanks for not quitting." Ijo doesn't fully get the cryptic backstory, but he feels the weight of the moment. He bows deep, grateful for the total glow-up Minho gave him, swallowing the burning questions about who this mysterious him actually is. The vibe is too heavy to push for answers. Fast forward a bit, and the arena's old roof is shaking from the pure hype inside. The noise is deafening. Ever since Minho's speech, this place has gone viral. It's absolutely popping every single night. Brutal matchups are the new normal, and Yiho, he's been forged in the fire of countless brawls. He's not the same kid anymore. His fists aren't just heavy, they're lethal. His body moves on pure instinct, syncing perfectly with the chaotic rhythm of combat. He's mastered the art of the one-hit finisher, finding that split-second opening and shutting it down. He's addicted to the adrenaline. But while Yijo is living his best life, he has no clue that Taeyang, the guy obsessed with burning the arena to the ground, is walking into the cold gray visiting room of a maximum security prison. He's here to see his big brother, the former kingpin of Human High. The second Kang Hane spots his little bro, a twisted, sinister grin spreads across his face. So, last time we spoke, you said you had a master plan to crush that arena. What's the status report? Taeyang flinches, avoiding eye contact. Look, some gutless coward ruined everything, and Mingu, well, he got absolutely wrecked by Minho. It wasn't my fault. Before he can finish his excuses, a manic booming laugh echoes off the concrete walls. Sounds like Minho actually grew a spine. But listen, just because the master is away, does the dog think he runs the house? Taeyang starts sweating bullets, terror rising in his throat. Don't worry, bro, I swear on my life. I'm gonna burn that place down. I've got a plan B, it's totally foolable. Shut up, Taeyang. Han A cuts him off cold. Only the one holding the leash controls the dog. Don't get cocky. Just play your part. He stands up, signaling the visit is over. Dad's pulling strings. He's fixing my body count, rap. I'll be walking free in a few months. So until I'm out, just keep your head down and stay quiet. Once I'm back on the streets, consider it handled. Taeyang nods, furiously, terrified to disobey. Meanwhile, oblivious to this storm brewing, Yijo is out living a totally different life. He's at a mixer sitting right across from Minho's sister, though he has zero clue they're related. He goes way too hard on the drinks for a first date, acting wild, which ironically catches her eye. They start vibing, and sparks are definitely flying. The whole crew gets hyped and decides to hit up a karaoke spot to keep the party going. But just as the guys are about to head in, the dude with the thick eyebrows grabs Hyun by the shoulder. He tells the girls to go ahead while the boys take a bathroom break. Hyun tries to brush him off, but eyebrow guy snaps, growling in her face. Why were you blocking my game all night? You sabotaging me. They start arguing right there on the sidewalk. Yijo, feeling like a massive third wheel, gets awkward and dips. He heads to the karaoke room alone, his brain completely occupied by Minho's sister. He is down bad. Total lovesick puppy mode. But the tragic irony, he still doesn't know that's his mentor's little sister. Just as he rounds the corner to the club, he looks up and sees a nightmare scenario. Some creep is cornering his crush. Hey beautiful, ditch the losers and roll with us. Yijo screams. Hey, back off, scumbag. The thug spins around, scans Yijo up and down, and laughs. Wow, your boyfriend looks like a total wimp. Forget this loser. Come hang with a real man. I'm with the Bake Sand gang, baby. He grips her arm tight. Youngmi winces in pain, struggling to break free, telling him to let go. The thug just gets more twisted. Oh yeah, what are you gonna do if I don't? Bad move, buddy. In a flash, Mi slides her foot back, locks a reverse grip on his collar, and executes a textbook shoulder throw. As he's flying through the air, she declares coldly, if you can't behave, you get disciplined. Crack. The thug hits the pavement so hard he literally coughs up blood. It's a one-hit KO. Yijo stands there, jaw on the floor, completely paralyzed by what he just witnessed. The redhead friend leans in and whispers, don't bother stepping in. Mi looks like an angel, but she's actually a savage. Her brother has been training her for combat since she was in diapers. Self-defense classes definitely paid off. Average street punks don't stand a chance against her anymore. Most guys can't even touch her. It helps when your mentor is the most notorious boss at the delinquent school, so chill out. The kid just stares at me, completely stunned by the revelation. She already wiped the floor with them. He's wondering if that high-level fighter who trained her is actually her brother. But boom, plot twist. Two more goons shadow step right behind me. One tries a dirty sneak attack. Seeing this, the kid doesn't hesitate. He launches himself forward, connects a brutal hook to the face, sends the dude flying through the air. He grabs the thug by the collar, furious. Ambushing is low, but jumping a girl, you're absolute trash. He frantically checks if Mi is okay. Just then, Eyebrows and Hyun finally get back from their bathroom break. Mi's friend points behind them, totally panicked. She screams, we almost got jumped by a gang of creeps. Everybody looks, but the alley is empty. They bolted. Later on, Yijo walks Mi home. She hypes up his fighting skills, but Yijo gets all shy about it. He admits, it's all thanks to Minjo's training. Mi gasps, shock written all over her face. Wait, you're the guy my brother keeps talking about. Yijo freezes. He had no clue Mi was Minjo's sister. Does she know about his loser past? Suddenly, she slides him her phone. My brother wouldn't shut up about you. I was curious. Let's stay in touch. Yijo grabs the phone, turning tomato red. She made the first move. Unreal. Next day at school, Yijo is walking on air, glued to his screen, texting Mi nonstop. Suddenly, a commotion kills the vibe. It's Seo Hyun, the guy he beat on his knees, begging Taeyang for forgiveness. Taeyang just spits on him. Get lost, loser. I'd vanish if I were you. Yijo watches the scene, totally confused. He can't wrap his head around it. Why would a skilled fighter like Seo Hyun be kissing up to a jerk like Taeyang? Hyun drops the lore. You know the Kangun Corporation. It's a front. A massive organized crime syndicate, dressed up as a legit business. They've got cops and politicians in their pocket. Tae Yang is the boss's second son, a born villain. Underworld royalty. Yijo's eyes go wide. That explains everything. No wonder Tae Yang acts like he owns the school. Cut to night, Mi clocks out of her shift. Heading home, she's stopped by a woman sprinting toward her hysterical. She grabs onto Mi, sobbing. Please, these creepy guys are chasing me. They won't stop touching me. Mi immediately pulls out her phone. I'm calling the cops. But the woman shoves her toward a dark alley. No time, we have to hide. Trap sprung. Thugs step out, blocking the exit. Mi stands her ground. She screams, back off, leave her alone. But she never saw the betrayal coming. The crying woman pulls a taser from her purse. She jams it. Right into Mi's spine. The woman smirks, tears gone. Just a little acting. And you fell for it hook, line, and sinker. It was a setup the whole time. Mi clenches her fists in rage, but the voltage fried her nerves. She's paralyzed. The gang grins, like sharks. Stepping out is Han Jae-hoo, a Baek-san gang enforcer with a scorpion face tattoo. He sneers, yo, sweetheart, ready to party. Then another familiar creep steps up. Warned you not to mess with the Baek-san crew. Now you're gonna learn. Mi realizes it's the stalker from before. Suddenly, Jae-hoo grabs a lumber plank. He raises it high, aiming straight for her skull. It's lights out. Do or die time. Summoning every ounce of strength, Mi forces her body to move. As the strike comes crashing down, she barely scrapes by, frantically twisting her body to the side to dodge the hit in a super close call. The woman standing nearby looks genuinely shook and sneers. Okay, you are tougher than I thought, but we are definitely not done with you. Just like that, she powers up the electric baton again, letting the sparks fly. He blasts Mi with a relentless high-voltage shock, frying her until she totally blacks out and hits the floor. Then he reaches out, prodding her limp body a couple of times. Just to double-check, she is 100% out cold. Next, she scrambles to her feet, desperate begging Jae-hoo to hand Mi over, so she can teach that girl a brutal lesson, but then, Jae-hoo's eyes flare up with a twisted predatory glint. You think I'm running a toy drive for you morons. This girl is a walking winning lottery ticket. You even breathe on her wrong. You're dead meat. Snapping orders over his shoulder, the boss demands they bag Mi immediately. The goons scramble to bundle her up and drag her off to their classified hideout. But literally a split second before they can lay hands on her, the atmosphere shifts. A shadow blitzes toward them, closing the distance at breakneck speed. Wham! A devastating haymaker sends one henchman flying through the air like a rag doll. As the rest of the crew stands there, completely shook, Yijo whips his head around his face, twisted in savage fury. He locks eyes with these scumbags, radiating pure menace. But to understand why he's pulling up with this much heat, we need to rewind 30 minutes. Mi drops a massive truth bomb on Yijo. She's dying to be a singer. Without skipping a beat, Yijo jumps at the chance to offer himself up as he offers to tag along, but a split second later, Mi drops a cryptic text. Sensing bad vibes instantly, he sprints over in full panic mode, but he arrives just a heartbeat too late. Suddenly, the thug in the red fit screams from the crowd. Yo boss, that's the scumbag who pressed us at the karaoke spot. He's a freaking human high student. Hearing that, Jae-hoo flashes a wicked grin. He planned to hunt down the crew that messed with them one by one. Guess the human high crowd has zero chill. The second he speaks, the heavyset lackey charges desperate to clout chase and impress the boss, but Yijo effortlessly swerves the attack with a smooth dodge. Then, he counters with a blow that sends the big guy spitting blood. Ambushed from both sides, Yijo launches one goon flying while using his forearm to tank a kick from another. Then holding nothing back, he drives a fist upward, absolutely shattering the guy's jaw. Yijo's stunned these clowns are even softer than the human high punks, so he could easily solo a mob of them. But right as he lands a kick on the guy a jagged wooden club comes swinging out of nowhere. If he hadn't ducked in a split second, his face would have been turned into ground beef by those rusty spikes. Yijo instantly realizes the guy standing in front of him is lethal, a dirty fighter who will do anything to win. Rushing in blindly, not an option. Instead, he stays on the defensive, dodging a barrage of savage strikes while waiting for the perfect moment to clap back. The second the guy's guard slips, Yijo goes airborne with a flying kick, knocking the weapon straight out of his grip. No hesitation, he starts throwing hands, unleashing a frenzy of punches, forcing the thug to retreat into the dark alley. But just as Yijo gets tunnel vision, focusing entirely on his fists, Jae-hoo plays dirty and sweeps his leg. Yijo loses his balance instantly. He faceplants right into a woman's chest. The awkwardness hangs in the air for exactly 2.5 seconds. Finally, his brain reboots, and he scrambles back, stammering that it was a total accident. Seeing him flustered like a shy kid, the woman actually finds it adorable. With a twisted grin, she raises her stun baton, ready to fry him for good. However, right before the voltage hits, Mi swoops in like a pro and kicks the weapon out of her hand. Seeing this, the woman gasps, completely shook. Weren't you out cold? How are you standing? Hearing this, Mi flashes a smug grin, brandishing a piece of wood. Physics, baby. This little stick saved my life. Turns out earlier when Jaihu went berserk with the club, she spotted a broken fragment fly off. So, split seconds before the woman tried to tase her again, she tucked the wood under her clothes, using it as a shield to block the high voltage. Now Yijo and me lock eyes. It's time to team up and wreck these clowns. Yijo can't help but sneer at the enemies. Y'all are actually hilarious. Do you have any idea how long I've been running these streets? Before they can even blink, Yijo lunges forward, smashing a fist into the guy's forehead, followed by a brutal hook to the cheek. In seconds, he dumps the guy into a pile of trash. But the villain just laughs. The real fight hasn't even started. He pops a mysterious pill, eyes dilating, and moves with supernatural speed to slam a devastating punch into Yijo's gut. Just then, overwhelmed by the sudden power spike, Yijo is left wide open and eats a brutal strike. A brutal knee slam connects right to the jaw. Bam. Then he gets turned into a literal punching bag, hammered relentlessly until his face is straight up unidentifiable. But just as Jehu thinks he's secured the dub, he glitches. Yijo suddenly stops dead in his tracks, totally motionless. Before he can even process the lag, Yijo snatches Jehu by the throat, catching him completely off guard. He starts wildly pummeling the stomach, staring at his opponent who is dangling in his grip, like a helpless baby chick. Zero hesitation, Yijo delivers a savage headbutt. A furious Jehu tries to square up, but he never expected this high schooler to fight even more recklessly than him, a literal drugged-up maniac. Finally, he roars, clenches his fist, and sends him flying several meters back with one terrifying strike. Right then, Jiho stares down at the unconscious body. He spits a glob of bloody saliva with pure contempt. Moron. You really thought I was just your personal practice dummy. As the words drop, Mi's applause suddenly rings out from behind. Solid work. But the second she finishes, even though Jiho is still looking rough, he snaps, grabbing the woman's neck in a vice grip with a savage expression. He demands to know why she set him up. She's instantly terrified, waving her hands frantically, explaining she only agreed to the setup for the cash. Baeksang. Hearing that name, Jiho suddenly connects the dots. So they already had beef with this crew back at the karaoke joint. To figure out exactly what the Baeksang gang is, Jiho hits her with a cold warning, spill the tea, or she's not walking out of here alive. The woman is shook. She immediately spills everything she knows. Turns out the Baeksang gang is an alliance of high schools that popped up out of nowhere in this area 6 months ago. Even though there are other crews around, anyone with any clout is thirsty to join Baeksang, so their numbers have skyrocketed insanely fast. That's when Jehu bribed her to drag me into this, using her as bait to trap some students from Yumen High and score a shot at joining the Five Dragons. Baeksang has already absorbed most of the schools in the zone, leaving only the northern district where Yumen High stands. Shaky, the woman stumbles to her feet, claiming she's spilled all the tea, so she's dipping now. But she only makes it a few steps before her jacket gets snatched. Mi glares with fierce eyes. Where do you think you're going? I didn't say we were done yet. What follows is a ruthless beatdown. After venting that rage, the two walk home together. Regarding tonight's chaos, Jiho apologizes profusely. Baeksang's target is Yumen High, but innocent Mi got dragged into the mess. Luckily, no matter how cocky those guys get, they can't touch Yumen High, while Minho holds it down. Hearing this, Mi laughs. My brother is pretty special, but you're actually pretty cool too. Thanks. Now I owe you twice. Jiho gives a warm smile, genuinely grateful he could save her. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Yijo and his crew are getting punished one by one. Yijo, the ringleader, takes a heavy kick and is instantly demoted to fighter status by Joan Taemin, who holds the 5th spot in Baeksang's 5 Dragons. Looking down at the desperate Jehu, Taemin sneers. Being a fighter is actually pretty interesting. I'll see you in the arena. Meanwhile, at another spot, the Cheonban fighter gang is holed up. After chasing off a bunch of scrubs who wanted to join Kong Jinsuk, the boss, is stressing hard because of Baeksang's existence. They can't recruit any decent soldiers now. If this keeps up, they're finished. But right then, an unexpected guest suddenly pulls up. Seeing that it's actually Sojun, 2 lackeys immediately scream at him. You piece of trash, how dare you show your face around here? To this, Seojun brushes it off with a smirk, saying he's just here for an interview. Compared to those guys who just ran away, I'm way higher quality manpower. Hearing this, Jinsuk steps up with menace. He shouts, why would I take back a traitor? Then with a cold stare, he reminds Seojun he was already cut for having bad character. But Seojun's attitude just gets more resolved. You can order me to do anything. I don't care how dirty it gets, I'm ready. Facing someone volunteering like this, Jinsuk gets an idea instantly. He grins and says, you know Ma Yun-gun, right? That kid is eyeing our turf. Go deal with him. Pull this off and I'll think about letting you back in. The next day, Seojun is packing his school stuff, planning to drop out soon. But right then, a voice calls out. Iju asks seriously, why are you quitting? Is it because of what happened in the arena? He advises him to get back in the ring and prove himself. But those words, Seojun snaps instantly. He chokes Yijo in a blind rage and screams, "You scumbag. Watching you hit rock bottom. Make you feel like a hero. Watch your back at night cause I'm done playing by arena rules. I'm coming for you right on the streets." He storms off, leaving his gear behind without a second glance. Totally unaware, an envelope slipped from his pocket. By the time Yijo spots the letter on the ground, Seojun has already vanished. That night, Seojun rolls up solo to an abandoned gas station, gripping a metal pipe. Facing a squad of clueless goons, Seojun gives them two choices: ride with Cheonbang or get lost. But they just laugh. "Heard you were clinging to Kanta and Young, but they kicked you to the curb. Now you come crawling back to Cheonbang." Two thugs swing wooden bats ready to school this outcast. Seojun's reflexes are sharp, he blocks the strike. But another guy sees an opening and rushes in fast, swinging hard at Sojun's side. Surprisingly, even this cheap shot is caught cold. Glaring at these pathetic losers, Seojun launches a kick that sends both of them flying. He tosses his jacket. "Quit wasting time. Come at me all at once." While Seojun battles Ma Youngjun's entire crew solo, Jinsuk watches from the sidelines. He picks up a photo of the duo, flicks a lighter and burns it without hesitation. Jinsuk never planned to keep Sojun around from the start. But seeing him beg to come back, it is the perfect chance to use him as a weapon against rival crews. If Sojun loses, so what? A guy like that is just disposable trash to be used and tossed. Meanwhile, the brawl wraps up. Seojun just wiped the floor with dozens of thugs single-handedly. Staring down a barely conscious Ma Youngjun, Sojun arrogantly wipes blood from his cheek. He planned to give them a choice, but that offer is off the table now. He stomps Ma Youngjun right in the face. "Get lost, and don't you ever show your mug around here again." Word spreads fast through school. Sojun is back with the Cheonbang gang, and he is hunting down anyone at Yumen High who has got beef with him. Yijo is shook by the news. He didn't expect Sojun to drop out so fast, but Hayun says it makes total sense. Sojun only transferred here to get close to Taehyung anyway. Now that he is cut off, leaving was inevitable. Besides, the guy has always been a friendless loner. Hearing that Yijo remembers the envelope Sojun dropped, he checks the return address. It leads him to Giseon, Sojun's childhood friend. He explains he found the letter, but doesn't know where Sojun lives, so this was the only way to return it. Unexpectedly, Giseon admits she has got no way to get that letter back to him. Since Sojun left the orphanage, she only knew his school address. That is where she has been sending mail. Yijo is stunned, he had no idea. Sojun grew up in an orphanage. Giseon's voice trembles with sadness. "I grew up with Sojun, as an orphan. Older kids always bullied me. But every time they did, Seojun, he would step up like a hero and chase them off. But it didn't last long. When kids at school found out he was an orphan, they turned on him. The bullying was brutal. To survive, Sojun fell in with the Cheonbang gang. When he finally visited after a long time, he was like a stranger, radiating confidence, bringing piles of gifts for everyone at the orphanage. At first, his change scared me, but watching him treat the younger kids with the same kindness, I realized Seojun never really changed deep down." Giseon looks genuinely worried. He used to visit monthly, but she never guessed his recent silence was because he dropped out of school. Tears streak down her cheeks. Clutching the envelope tightly, Giseon breaks down. She is terrified the Sojun she remembers will fade away, replaced by some terrifying monster. Watching her, Yijo feels a pang of guilt. That night on the rooftop of the Cheonbang hideout, Jinsuk grips a heavy wrench, brutally disciplining a lackey who failed a mission. Afterwards, he pats Sojun's shoulder, grinning. "You have still got it." Taking down Ma Youngjun solo, impressive. He smirks. "That settles your debt for betraying us. But if you want officially back into Cheonbang, you gotta jump through more hoops, kid." Watching Jinsuk backpedal on the deal makes Seojun's blood boil instantly. But getting back into the gang is his only play, so he grinds his teeth and hisses, "What else do you want?" Jinsuk flashes a wicked grin. "Didn't you say you'd do anything? That includes taking a life." The word murder hits Seojun like a truck, freezing him cold. Seeing the kid paralyzed with shock, Jinsuk suddenly bursts out laughing. "Wow, you actually bought that." Then the vibe shifts instantly. Flicking a lighter open, he stares Seojun down. "What you actually need to do is just as heavy. You need to incinerate a motorcycle." He slams a thick stack of cash right against Seojun's chest. Client dropped millions just for the deposit. Deals this sweet don't come around every day. Do the job, and you're back in the family. Seojun hesitates. One slip up here, and he is looking at hard time in juvie. Lost in turmoil, his feet subconsciously drag him back to his old orphanage. He stops, ready to turn back, but Giseon spots him and calls out before he can bail. They settle on the swings just like old times. Giseon's voice trembles as she asks if he can just come home and live like they used to. Seojun lets out a heavy sigh. "Thanks, Giseon, but that ship has sailed. I can't go back." He stands up, telling her to watch over the other kids. He knows he won't be visiting again anytime soon. Shaking off her pleas for him to stay, he walks away carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Next night, parking lot. It's go time. Seo-jun douses the bike in gasoline, scanning the shadows, making sure no cameras are rolling. Just like the boss said, he sparks the lighter. This crime is his only ticket out. He raises his hand to drop the flame, but suddenly, splash, a bucket of water hits him square in the face. Yi-ju is standing there, staring down Seo-jun's recklessness. Playing with fire at midnight. Are you insane? Have you lost your damn mind? Rewind 3 hours, Gi-seon had intercepted Yi-ju on the street. With tears streaming down her face, she warned that Seo-jun was spiraling towards something dangerous. She begged Yi-ju, desperate for someone to stop Seo-jun from making a mistake he couldn't undo. To track him down, Yi-ju took Ha-yoon's advice and stormed straight into Chonbong territory. He cornered 2 thugs on a rooftop, demanding Seo-jun's location. When they tried to play dumb, Yi-ju let his fists do the talking. Luckily, he crashes Seo-jun's pity party right before disaster strikes. But Seo-jun snaps. Blind with rage, he grabs Yi-ju by the collar. You know nothing about my life. Who are you to lecture me? Yi-ju doesn't flinch. I'm nobody, but someone who believes in you sent me. That hits home. Seo-jun realizes Gi-seon was the one looking out for him this whole time. Yi-ju drives it home. She thinks you're a good person. Don't throw your life in the trash. Seo-jun is stunned. He never thought Gi-seon would go to these lengths for a guy like him. He lowers the lighter, ready to walk away when Boom Jin-sok steps out of the shadows with his crew. It was a setup. He's been watching the whole time, secretly recording everything on his phone. The footage clearly shows Seo-jun soaking the bike in gas. The lighter slips from his hand, falling toward the fuel. When a blur of motion kicks the lighter away, it's Ha-yoon, and right behind him stands Eyebrow Guy. They arrived in the nick of time thanks to Yi-ju's quick thinking. On his way to stop the arson, Yi-ju had radioed Ha-yoon and Eyebrow Guy for backup, just in case things went south. If he hadn't, Seo-jun's life would be over right now. Eyebrow Guy glares at the gang leader, the guy responsible for ruining his date night. But the thug is packing metal arm guards. Wham, one hit, and Eyebrow Guy gets flattened. Ha-yoon rushes in to cover him, but a shadow blocks his path instantly. Silent but deadly, the enemy unleashes a flurry of strikes. Ha-yoon spots an opening to counter, but feels a sharp sting across his cheek. A closer look reveals the horror. The guy's brass knuckles have hidden blades. Ha-yoon grits his teeth. He didn't expect these scumbags to fight this dirty. Even the opponent coming for Yi-ju is armed with dual metal crutches, and shouting in Japanese that Yi-ju can't understand. As the guy charges, Yi-ju instinctively raises an arm to block, but the impact from those crutches is absolutely monstrous. One brutal impact, and Yi-ju feels his ribcage shatter. He spits a mouthful of crimson, then the finisher. A crutch slams directly into his spine. He hits the pavement hard, totally incapacitated and unable to move. Watching him drop, Jin-sok sneers. Seo-jun, your squad is getting wrecked. Gonna step in. But the second he stops talking, Seo-jun delivers a ferocious kick. Shockingly, the impact only hurts Seo-jun's own leg. As a jacket hits the floor, Jin-sok reveals a heavy-duty tactical vest concealed underneath. And those aren't bare hands, he's rocking brass knuckles on both fists. Seeing that arrogant smirk on Jin-sok's face, Seo-jun unleashes his signature power kick, but it bounces off like nothing. Instead, Jin-sok capitalizes on the opening and pounds him into the dirt. Meanwhile, Eyebrows is barely surviving, forced into endless blocking. His arms are turning to jelly. At this rate, his combat ability is going to hit 0. But then Eyebrows catches a glitch in the enemy's pattern. Because of the arm blades, the attacks swing in wide angles, never straight on. If he puts his back to a wall and kills the attack range, the enemy becomes useless. To test this theory, Eyebrows instantly hops onto the railing. Sure enough, his opponent freezes, completely shook. Elsewhere, Jae-jun is getting sliced and diced by the bowl cut guy. Fighting bare knuckle against razor-sharp steel feels like a suicide mission. But suddenly, his vision sharpens. For the first time, he leans back, dodging a slash by a millimeter. That move unlocks the secret bowl cut's weapon, is just a range extender. As long as he stays outside that kill zone, the counterattack window is open. Exploiting this flaw, Ha-yoon lands a devastating haymaker right on bowl cut's jaw. But while the squad is adapting, Yi-ju is getting absolutely obliterated by the Japanese fighter's crutches. He can't find a single opening. He's backed into a claustrophobic gap between 2 parked cars. Yi-ju knows, as long as that guy has his weapon, victory is impossible. The only win condition is disarming him. Then his eyes lock onto his untied shoelaces. Seconds before the Japanese fighter locates him, Yi-ju knots his laces together. When the enemy charges in, swinging the crutches wildly, Yi-ju uses the laces to instantly snag and bind the guy's hands, together with the weapon. Stripped of his offense, the Japanese fighter becomes a punching bag for Yi-ju's rage. Meanwhile, Seo-hyun is completely outclassed by Jin-sok. It makes sense, his lethal kicks and the steel plates in his legs, all learned from Jin-sok. Back when Seo-hyun was homeless with nowhere to go, Jin-sok took him in and personally trained him in combat. Recognizing Seo-hyun was a rare diamond in the rough, he even gifted him those iron leg weights. As a mentor, he drilled one thing into Seo-hyun's head: In this world, the strong don't win. The winners are the strong ones. And so, Seo Hyun drank the Kool-Aid willing to do anything for Jin-suk. But then came the incident. Finally, Seo Hyun realized Chonbong wasn't his savior, it was a noose tightening around his throat. Yet even now, Jin-suk tries to gaslight him as an ungrateful traitor. He raises a fist, ready to end him permanently. Suddenly, in a clutch moment, Ji-ho dives in and blocks the death blow with a crutch. Jin-suk instantly recognizes it as his subordinate's weapon. Sensing the shift, he snaps his head around. His three top enforcers, all defeated by three teenagers. But then, Jin-suk just laughs. I don't know why you're riding so hard for Seo Hyun, but watch your back. He ain't worth it. That guy is a snake who'll stab you in the back any second. Seo Hyun has no choice but to spill the tea. Years ago, he found out the director of his childhood orphanage, desperate to pay back loan sharks from Cheonbong, was using the orphans to traffic illegal goods. To protect the kids, he had to use force to kick the director out. But that meant Cheonbong couldn't collect the debt. And since Seo Hyun was the guy responsible for collections when Jin-suk got suspicious, he didn't make excuses. He took the fall, entirely on his own. But hearing this tragic backstory, Jin-suk just laughs harder. He knew the truth the whole time. He realized Seo Hyun chose a bunch of worthless orphans over the Brotherhood. With that, Jin-suk drops into a malicious combat stance. He's going to settle this blood feud right here, right now. Seeing this, the tension explodes. Yeju doesn't hesitate, barking out a threat. Back the hell off. It's 4 against 1, you're gonna crash and burn. But Jin-suk, he just lets out a cocky sneer. In a heartbeat, the scene shifts. A massive sea of goons floods in, surrounding our squad from every single angle. One barked order from the boss, and the mob charges swinging jagged metal pipes like maniacs. Seeing this tidal wave of violence, Yejo and the crew look totally shook for a second, but Hyun flips the switch to calm mode. They might be outnumbered, sure, but if they stick together, they can carve a bloody path out. While the squad locks in for a fight to the death, So-hyun stands there freezing, brain lagging on why they'd risk it all for him. But that moment of hesitation costs him. A sucker punch comes out of nowhere. Jin-suk lands a heavy hit, sending So-hyun ragdolling across the pavement. While Yejo and the team are fighting for their lives in the background, So-hyun spots Jin-suk, winding up another haymaker, charging his power bar. So-hyun plans a counter, aiming to block with a kick and find an opening. But then disaster strikes. His leg guard snaps like a twig on impact. With his only advantage shattered, So-hyun deflates fast. He becomes a punching bag, letting Jin-suk batter him back several yards. Looking down at the wrecked So-hyun, Jin-suk drops the trash talk. See, without the gear I gave you, you're just a useless piece of garbage. So-hyun lies in the dirt, totally broken, his fighting spirit hitting zero. But then he catches a glimpse of Yejo and the others. Even facing a literal army, they're throwing hands with zero fear. How can he tap out now? Snap decision. He rips off the leg weights Jin-suk forced on him. Time to fight until the bitter end. Relying on his own raw stats fair and square, Jin-suk looks at him like he's got a death wish. The villain lunges forward to delete So-hyun from existence once and for all. But miraculously, So-hyun sidesteps it with zero effort. Even So-hyun is stunned. His agility just leveled up insanely. He's not just dodging Jin-suk's attacks, he's landing critical kicks on vital points. Turns out, dropping those heavy weights unlocked his true speed beast mode. He launches into the air for a finisher, finally severing this toxic relationship. In midair, So-hyun realizes the harsh truth that protection was actually a set of chains holding him back. However, Jin-suk refuses to take the L, scrambling up and swinging wildly. He can't handle losing to someone he labeled as trash. But the power gap, So-hyun is in a whole different league now. With one clean strike, he ends it. Game over. Looking down at the defeated Jin-suk, So-hyun drops the coldest line he ever learned. The strong don't win. The winners are the strong ones. You taught me that, Jin-suk. Seeing their boss get wrecked, the minions go into full panic mode. Seeing the squad still standing tall, they decide loyalty is overrated and scramble away like rats. With the crisis averted, the adrenaline crash hits and Seo-hyun collapses. But just as the lights are about to go out, a hand reaches down. Yejo grins. You won, dude. Get up. You fight way better without those ankle weights. Seo-hyun stares at this scene. It's a perfect mirror image of the day Yejo beat him. Back then, he couldn't take the hand. This time, he's not letting go. Suddenly, a familiar voice screams out. Jaehyun sprints toward them, tears streaming down her face. Before So-hyun can even blink, she tackle hugs him. So-hyun, do you have any idea how scared I was? So-hyun gently pats her head, soothing her. It's all good now. No more worrying, I promise. Cut to the next day at school. Yeju realizes his wallet is MIA, along with his bank card and student ID. Just then, Yeju does a double take. So-hyun, the dropout, is actually walking through the school gates. He hadn't planned on returning, but last night, Jaehyun had a breakdown begging him to come back and be the guy she used to know. She caught him off guard, sealing the deal with a pinky promise. A man's gotta keep his word. But Sohyun barely hits his seat when Kang Taeyong rolls up with his posse. Word on the street is you beat Cheonbong, so I'm thinking about letting you back in. The Kangyun reserve team is your only option anyway. Sohyun shuts him down instantly. He's carving his own path now, before he actually thought joining. That reserve team was a win just for the semi-basement dorm room. Talk about low standards. For a guy with no roots, this was the only move. His entire life as a lone wolf had one singular purpose, finding a place to belong. But he lost his way in the darkness. In the end, that path left him with nothing but scars, violence, and cold betrayal. Funny how life works. He finally realizes the sanctuary he was desperate to find had been sitting right under his nose the whole time. Watching Hyun and the kids playing Sohyun smiles, throwing his arms wide to pull his real family into a massive protective bear hug. But hold up, plot twist. The heartwarming moment gets crashed by Yejo Hajun and even Mr. Eyebrows himself rolling up as surprise guests. Turns out Hyun invited the whole squad. As they dig into a feast, the vibes are good, but Yejo can't resist asking the million-dollar question. So what's the plan for that wrecked bike? Sohyun shrugs, promising to pay the owner top dollar whenever they actually show up. Problem is, he has no clue who owns it, just hears it belongs to some infamous local student. Yejo looks confused. Wait, did that kid have beef with Cheonbong? Seojin shakes his head. Nah, total stranger. That guy's got zero ties to Cheonbong's drama. Cheonbong botched a job and got hit with some nasty payback. See, major syndicates like the Kangjung Gang used to hire Cheonbong as a mercenary to handle their dirty work and cover their tracks. This bike arson was just business as usual. Meanwhile, cut to the parking lot. A crowd gathers around a motorcycle that's dripping wet with gasoline. Jang Do-yoon, the boss of Jeon Soo-hai, is absolutely losing it. Some psycho tried to torch my baby. Are you kidding me? When I find the rat who did this, they're dead meat. But right in the middle of his rage, a lackey behind him shouts out, "Boss, check this out. Someone dropped a wallet right next to the bike."